What up, everybody? You're now tuned into Candid Conversations. I'm your host, Brandon Lamb. Back today with another live stream, man. Hey, family ties today, man. So we definitely get into it, man. We're gonna talk some ball, man. Got my cousin here with me today, man. Introduce yourself to the people.
Toby Frazier, Jacksonville native, born and raised, Grand Park baby. Uh, I make sure I make sure that's known. We get such a bad rep, man. They make it seem like only bad stuff come from the neighborhood, and I try to let people know that it's not all bad. But play high school ball at Paxon High School. Ventured out, played some JUCO ball, ended up finishing my college career back at Jacksonville University, and coached 1 year of college, 19 years of high school, 8 years as a head coach. So just recently retired at the end of this season. So looking forward to see what else life has in store for me.
Man, I did not know you had coached that long. I knew you had been coaching, but I didn't know it had been 18 years, and then it was 8 as a head coach. So was that all at Paxon?
No, man. Actually, my first year coaching was at Edward Waters College. That was my first job. Okay. Coach Buster Harvey. I was with him for a couple years, and then I coached JV assistant and varsity assistant at Bowles for 2 years. And then I went to Reebok for a year. I went to Jackson for a year, and I want to say I was at Atlantic Coast for maybe 4 years, and then I did 8 years at Paxon. So
okay, yeah. I coached 3 years. I did 2 at Parker, did 1 at Sandalwood. Coached football. And man, coaching is an absolute grind, as you know. And one thing about high school is that I found out very quickly. My buddy, he got me into it. Eric Sampson played for Clemson and played for Ed White. And I found out real quickly that guys ain't out here for the money. It's because you're not, especially in football, man. It's hot. It's like, dude, you're not getting paid that much to be out here. But the love of the game and the kids is what really got it for me. I always loved football, and I didn't play it as much as I wanted to back in high school, but I always knew I'd be a contributor in some way. But the kids is what really kept me going day in and day out.
Man, I actually got into coaching because it was so many older guys that helped me when I was a kid, and just giving advice, just spending time. You got guys that try to show you stuff, teach you how to play, teach you different moves. So when I got out of college, man, I actually felt like I had a debt to pay. Like it was hovering over me bad to where I was like, man, you got to find a way to give back what was given to you. And that's what got me into coaching. And then once you get in, you start getting attached to some kids, and your love for the game continues to grow. And then you coach long enough, which I was fortunate enough to coach long enough to have kids come back. And that probably added like another 5 more years onto my coaching career, because when you're doing it, you don't know if you're making a difference. You don't know if you're not making money, but you don't know if you're making a difference. You don't know if it's impactful. You don't know. So when I got that first kid to come back and say, hey, coach, thank you, man, I appreciate everything you did. I appreciate everything you used to tell me. And it kind of like, it put more gas in the tank, but we definitely don't do it for the money, man. And, I like to call it co-parenting. I like to, as far as parents, like I would like for parents to understand that coaches, it's no different than a parent and a step parent. I'm not necessarily, or it could be a parent where one of the parents is not in the home. I'm trying to help raise, in my case, being a boys coach, I'm trying to help join hands with you to raise your son. I want the best for him, but when he's in my care, I can't just teach him basketball. I have to teach him how to be respectful. I have to teach him mannerisms. I have to teach him how to carry himself. I was real anal about my kids being able to speak, like enunciate, like, I was just something that I was hung up on. So I took it to the max with my kids. So it would be frustrating when you would get parents to come to the game and they want to fuss about what defense we playing and what plays we running, when in the grand scheme of things, yeah, we're trying to win games, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm trying to help grow your young man. And, just that conflict sometimes, will cause frustration because, it was more so from the sporting aspect of it. And it's like, nah, it's not. I'm not just coach. I'm uncle sometimes. I'm big brother sometimes. Sometimes I'm stepdad sometimes. So, you just, I would like to share that message with parents. Like, hey, support your kids' coaches as if you would support the other parent. Don't make that kid choose, because most kids love their coach, even the kids that don't play. Like, they love being on the team. They love if they don't play that much, they still love the camaraderie. They love the sense of belonging. And sometimes parents can kind of spoil it, man. They take the fun out of it for the kid. They yelling from the bleachers. They shouting instructions. And it's like, that's not what it's about. At the end of the day, that's not what it's about. So, and I think that, during my tenure, I had an opportunity to bridge some of those gaps between the parent and coach relationship and the parent-kid coach relationship. And I had wonderful parents during my time at Paxon, very supportive parents. But I would hear stuff, you just hear stuff while you coaching throughout the years, and you're like, oh my goodness, man, like it's bigger. It's way bigger than that.
Yeah, it is. Boys to men. That's what we're cultivating. We want to take them from boys to men. I said my favorite part of the process when it came to just football is the off season. Most people like the games and the fanfare to cover the games, but I always believe that just about no matter the sports, games are the fruits of your labor. So whatever work you put in the off season, the games is just showing me that you took in what I put out. But my favorite part is the grind and the weight room, OTAs, 707s. I mean, spring ball. That's when you get to see that growth of the kid. So say we have that little bit of layoff and he comes back, you figure out who's been working, who's not, who's been on the couch playing PlayStation, eating Cheetos, and who's been out working. You find it out very quickly. And just like you said, like most kids, they like their coach. Even your problem kids, even your knuckleheads who, you always have a problem with it. And it's always something, I had a few of them now, man. They love me to death, and like you say, you never know if you're making an impact or if they're listening until later on. And so I'm getting it now. So once I started this podcast and I started, talking sports, I started out initially talking sports, and now I've branched out into a bunch of different topics. And a lot of them, they've seen it through social media, and they'll say, Coach, man, I love you. I love your podcast. It looks good on you. We're so proud of you. Keep going, man. You know how good that makes you feel.
Right.
Man, that right there is second to none.
Yeah, that's good, man. Believe it or not, kids not only do they need structure, kids want structure. The reason why kids love structure, because they usually don't have a clue what to do. So when they have instructions, it's easy, and it encourages and entices the kids who can follow instructions. They latch on to that, and they use that as a way to separate themselves from other kids. So I think sometimes adults, we may, the old Joe Clark quote, discipline is not the enemy of enthusiasm. Like, it's not because we got structure, that doesn't mean we're not going to have fun. But kids need that. And I think you notice that most of your coaches who are strict and come off to be a little bit mean, those are the coaches that the kids end up loving, because there's a level of respect there. Like, I have to really love you and care about you to keep correcting you over and over and over again. Once I stop talking, I kind of wash my hands. Like, I don't really care anymore. So I tell kids all the time, as long as your coach is talking to you, you should be fine. The moment that he stops talking to you, I would get worried. Same thing I tell parents. Like, I know sometimes it may frustrate you, or it may make you feel a certain type of way for the coach to keep screaming your son's name and fussing at him. But the fact that your kid can generate that type of emotion, that means that guy loves that kid. Otherwise, it wouldn't move me. Like, whatever he did, good or bad, wouldn't move me if I didn't care about him. So you're exactly right, man. Like, it's that part of it, the instilling in them the work ethic, and then waiting to see who went and worked and came back and who's better. I think kids, I like to tell people, you can find out what kids are interested in, not what you have to tell them to do, but what you have to tell them to stop doing. They have to tell them to get off the game. You don't have to tell them to go work on their game. You have to tell them, man, cut the video game off. You don't have to tell them, hey, man, look, you working out too much. You doing too many push-ups. Like, you don't have to tell them that. So what they're interested in, and it's fine. Like, kids don't have to play sports. Like, kids can be whatever they want to be. They don't have to play sports. Like, we live in a culture right now where people are tagging along onto the sports and neglecting other professions in life. I think we should encourage kids to tap into all types of stuff.
Yeah, we should, man. I can't remember who I was listening to. I watched so much stuff. I'd be forgetting little tidbits, but they talked about how kids watching what was modeled in front of them, and not enough other professions were modeled in front of them. So you saw athletes, you saw drug dealers, you saw gangbangers, you saw blue collar workers, of course, but not enough doctors, not enough lawyers, not enough clergymen, not enough pastors. It's certain things that you just didn't see enough of as a kid, so they're not going to gravitate towards that. So when you only see maybe like 3 or 4 things that'll get you out of the hood, you think that that's the only way to do so, and we got to change that narrative.
Man, I was telling this story the other day. The first time that I realized I didn't have to like go to the league to be successful was in the 10th grade. It was the first time I went to my AAU coach house, Coach Martin Jackson. He was from Grand Park. The first time I went to his house, we had practice in St. Augustine or something. So he came to pick me up so I can be on his side of town. And he lived in Mandarin. And he had like a 2-car garage. He had 2 cars. He had a car phone. He had his big keyboard. And when we walked in the house, me and another teammate, matter of fact, it's Coach Terry Parker, Coach Sharon Dorsey.
Oh, yeah, that's what I do.
Me and Big Red walk in the house, and Coach like, hey, man, y'all order a pizza. So we looking at each other. We looking around the house. And I was like, dang, like Coach got all of this. And he just like a regular dude. And that's when it hit me. Like, I thought you had to go to the league to have 2 cars, to have a car phone, to have a nice house. And my mind started changing then about sports and life. Like, I had never been to Mandarin, but my first time going to Mandarin was in the 10th grade, even going on that side of town. So not being exposed, like, a lot of kids from where we're from are underexposed. And, we have to get back to where, it's a little different now with social media. Kids can see stuff around the world, but I think there's still an element of that in the hood where, kids are either shunned, like we don't support that kid that's in the band. You don't get the 10 dudes in the hood that go to the football game to say, hey, look, man, we're going to go to the dance recital, or we're going to go to this chorus recital, or we're going to go see this play that my nephew's in. But if he was playing football or playing running back for somebody, we all piling up and we trying to meet up and go to the game. I think the kids that are interested in sports, interested in things other than sports, we don't support them enough. I think we should rally behind those kids, that kid that wants to be a scientist or that kid that wants to be a dentist. Like, we should try to introduce that kid to people that we know that are in those professions. So we have a responsibility too. It's just not on the kids. But I think, in time, as we go along, it's not like it was when we were coming up. I think kids are tapping into more stuff, and it's being so. I think music is the big thing now. Everybody want to rap now, so that's one thing. So, which that's fine. If that's what you want to do, then that's fine. I'm all for it.
Yeah, as long as they got a fallback, man. I know a couple of backpack rappers right now, man. And they got decent music, but everybody's not going to be Lil Wayne, so you got to have that backup plan. But you're so right about that. How, if it wasn't basketball, it wasn't football, baseball, or anything like that, then people the interest in it would be minimum, and that's even from parents. Sometimes it isn't just family or friends, parents. And I said that I was telling my dad. I said I was telling my stepmom. I was telling her. I said, man, if I have a kid today, life doesn't stop for me, but my life is molded around that child because there's nothing more important in my life at that point than raising that child and being there for them day in and day out. I still have to provide, I still have to protect, and I'm going to still go after what I want and pursue my dreams and my goals. But being there for that child is number one on the list. That's the priority. And so no matter what they're interested in, no matter what they want to do, yeah, I love sports, but my children, they don't have to play sports if they don't want to. Shoot, you can want to be spelling bee champion. Hey, guess what we're gonna be doing? We're
Right.
gonna be working on those words every single night, man. That's what we're gonna do. Taking an interest, no matter what you do, no matter what the kid is doing, once a parent takes an interest in it, the kid goes harder in whatever it is. And I don't think a lot of parents really see that. Once the parent shows interest, the kid goes a lot harder because I know plenty of guys who they played football, they played high school, they played college, but the parents didn't have much interest. So they didn't take it as seriously as they would have had the parents been interested from the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny you say that. When I first started playing like regulation basketball at the PAL, my mom used to record all the games. And that was enough for me. I'm like, yeah, I got to show out. Like, she behind the camera. And it
Yeah.
was a sense of like, you don't want to let them down. And then that kind
Mm-hmm.
of turns into, you develop your own love as you go along. Um, it brings me to this point. Like, I don't think kids in relation to sports, I don't think they spend enough time alone with their particular sport. It's like relationships. Like you fall in love with a person when you
Mm-hmm.
start spending time just the two of y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, my love for basketball came from me being in the park by myself, me and the basketball, just me. So I spent time alone with the game. I watched film by
Mm-hmm.
myself. Everything now is kind of, there's nothing wrong with training and group training and stuff like that. But I think you got to, no different than nothing wrong with hanging with your friends. But if you're in a
Yeah.
relationship, at some point, you and this person got to be together, alone,
Mm-hmm.
getting on a deeper level. And I think today, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, whatever the sport is, I would like to see more kids spend time alone.
Yeah.
Whether it's just you dribbling in your driveway or you running routes in your backyard by yourself or, just physically training by yourself. Like, I think that's where you grow that love. Now, we play video games by ourselves.
Mm-hmm. By
We
yourself.
play
Yep.
video games by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We'll play against the computer. Oh, that's cool to play with somebody online. But if nobody was available, it's not going to stop us from playing. So if my trainer's not available, or my coach is not available, or my homeboy is not available, or my homegirl is not available, I still got to go work on my game. And I think that's
Yeah.
what a separation is made. And once you start doing that, you'll develop a love. And then you'll start figuring out if this is what I really want to do or not. When you start
Yeah.
spending time alone with the game. And I just, one of my missions, now that I'm not coaching anymore, is to try to get back in the community and talk to kids about self-development, taking ownership of their own career, not leaving it up to mom, dad, coach, trainer, AAU coach. Like, take ownership of your own career and don't, because at the end of the day, it's your career. It's
Yeah.
yours. So own it, own it, love it, be passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And be realistic in your expectations and your goals and what you're trying to pursue. You always, shoot for the stars, land on the clouds. You hear that all the time, but you also have to be realistic. Like I'll tell them every year, start every year, 0.1% of y'all are gonna make it to the NFL. Off top, that's pretty much it. It's like it's less than 1% that's gonna make it to the NFL. So you're gonna go pro in something other than football. So now is the time to start to think about what you want to do. It doesn't have to be concrete because you can always change. What direction you're going to go and what you want to do. There's plenty of vocations out there. If you don't like this vocation, you can go to this vocation. But figuring that out, I think, is pertinent because it puts you ahead. Because like even with me doing this right here, I didn't really get into this until 2 years ago. Had I thought about this in maybe high school maybe coming right out of high school, because sports casting was something that I had and I wanted to do, but nothing like this, what I'm doing now. And so now that I'm doing this, I'm like, man, I wish I had started this 5 years ago. I mean, I could just imagine where I'd be right now 5 years ago had I started this sooner. So I think that's what the job as parents and the job as coaches, the job as mentors is to find out where the kid's interest lies and helping cultivating whatever that interest is and that talent is in that certain field, and just, helping them get on the faster track.
Hey, I like to play, everybody who knows me, they know I like to play devil's advocate or not. So do you feel like you would have had the wisdom that you have now had you started right out of high school? And do you think you would be as good, not further along, but do you think you would be at a point with the level of wisdom that you have and how good you are now?
That's a good question. I would have to say probably not. I don't think I'll be to this level because of what I put with the thing, what I know now, what I've gained, the knowledge I've gained over the years. Going through things over the years has helped shape and molded me into who I am today. So, and my life goes in a totally different direction. So the experience I have now, and people always say, man, you're very knowledgeable for somebody, your age. And I said, well, that's come from listening, that comes from reading, that comes from experience, and that comes from a lot of things. So had I started this before, yeah, I wouldn't have had the experiences that I had coming up. So probably wouldn't be as good, but I would have been successful either way. Yeah, that's what I know, because I see it in me now. And I say, yeah, it would only been a matter of time.
And that's good, man. That's just me. Like to play devil's advocate. I always like people to know their whys and hows and whys. And that's the right mindset to have. Like you gotta feel like you're gonna be good. Like you gotta feel like that. Like everybody around you is not gonna see what you see. And a lot of times we can get discouraged if we tell a person that we're close to something that we're about to do, and they don't.
What up, David?
They don't support us. That could discourage us without them even know everything that it entails. So, you gotta believe in yourself, man, and you just gotta, you gotta keep pushing forward. You gotta keep practicing your craft, working on your craft, whatever it may be. And you can listen to what people say, because sometimes, you need the criticism, you need people to throw different stuff your way to consider. But at the end of the day, if it's what you want to do, like I believe you chase it until you just don't want to chase it anymore. As long as you're not like hurting anybody, you're not inconveniencing anybody, just keep pushing forward and you keep doing your own thing, man. But I'm happy to hear, that's your attitude about it. Because that's how you should be. I'm good. I'm going to be good. I'm going to continue to be good. I'm going to get better. And that has to be the mindset.
And this is funny. Hey, what's up, David? Hey, yes, David, I did call you annoying yesterday on the show. We were talking about your Titans and Julio Jones, because he's been very annoying since Julio went to Tennessee. He's a Tennessee fan. He say, David say straight knowledge. Yeah, Toby spitting that knowledge, man. For sure. And what's crazy is that the confidence I have now, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is relatively new. Because before I started this and people were telling me to start it, fear. The reason I haven't started before now is fear. Fear has held me back. Fear will paralyze you. And so not thinking that I'll be good enough, not thinking that people want to listen. I'm like, man, who want to hear me talk? Who want to listen to my content? Who want to watch me on video? Who wants to do those things? I mean, am I even going to be good at it? Because I hadn't started and I didn't know. But once I started it, I started audio first, and then I got into video. It wasn't until I got on video, because people with audio, people was like, oh, it's good, I like it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool, okay. But once I started video, that's when I seen people, their attitudes towards me doing this change. And people went from, oh, B, that's nice, to, hey, B, you got to keep going. You got something right here. Like, you can do this. It's like I went to 9:30 the game radio station. I did a contest called Dream Day. I hosted an hour of this of the contest where you get to spend regular fans get an hour to host, and you get to talk about whatever you want to talk about for an hour. And they did it for 12 hours. And the producer, after I did the show, the producer, he was like, man, your best segments was these 2 segments. And I said, well, I didn't have anything wrote down for those, kind of just winged it. He said, that's your superpower. He said, that right there, you just coming off the top right here and not having no script. He said, because when you had a script, I could tell. He said, you sound robotic. He said, not everybody can sit there, no pen, no pad, and just go on a topic. He said, you have to cultivate that. And ever since that day, that's what I've been doing. And I've gotten better and better and better. It's taking work. It's taking a lot of work. I'm over 100 videos already, and I'm getting ready to do 100 more, but it's taking work. And that's why I want to show kids is that kids get to see the highlights. They watch YouTube all day long, so they only get to see the highlights. No, they need to see the lowlights as well. That's why they need to see how I started versus where I am now and how I'm going to finish. I want them to see the whole thing, so there's no surprises when you start the process.
You know, let me tell you something about script. Like I always tell people, and this has always been my motto about mainly in coaching, because that's what I've been doing. Anybody,
appreciate that.
You know, academically. So you talk about scripts. Anybody who can read read the script. You see what I'm saying? The separation is made when there is no script. So I used to tell people about me. Yeah, you may know. We may know the same amount of basketball. We may have the same basketball education, but you can only get me from me. You can only get my personality from me. You can only get my mind from me. You can only get my delivery from me. So we both can teach the same drill, but you're not going to teach it like I teach it. Yes. So at the end of the day, there needs to be some value. I always tell people, like, it needs to be value in you. Like, what's the value of having you? Not a person. It has to be something about you that we can't get from anybody else. And that's where a separation is made. Like the prime example, Stuart Scott. You can only get that. Like you've got guys that try to duplicate it. But when they try to duplicate it, in the back of your mind, you're like, he trying to be like Stuart Scott. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but when he first came out, you had some people like, hold on, what is this? He talking like he in the street. But after a while, now you look around, everybody trying to talk slang on mainstream media. But he was a trendsetter, you know, and I try to tell people, be a trendsetter in your lane. Go against the grain sometimes. You might get some pushback, but at the end of the day, it's different. And people can't deny that it's different. And you're going to find somebody who's going to like that. So I'm always looking for that one sector that likes that. Everybody don't have to like it. But if the right person likes it or the right people like it, eventually everybody will jump on because that's just the culture that we live in. But no, that's cool, man. Like I love that. You know, as your big cuz, you know, I'm proud to see what you're doing. And I like the confidence and just keep that, man. Like I try to encourage young men. I've been coaching for a while and my main thing was like, man, be different. Like, you know, my one of my favorite quotes with my kids is, you don't have to do anything to be different, but you actually have to try to be like somebody else. Yeah. So you actually have to put effort into trying to be like somebody else. But if you want to be different, you don't have to do anything. Just be yourself, because we're all different. But it's just that getting kids over that fear of, okay, I can't be the only one that show up to school without no Nikes on. It's like, no, man, you'll actually get more attention if you show up with some New Balance on. Yeah. And I say that because I'm a New Balance guy. Yeah. But it's just that fear, though. It's the fear, like you talked about earlier. There's a fear of being different. And what you have to understand when you're in certain industries, like rap. If I want a gangster rapper, it's like 10 that I probably want, that I would choose before I listen to this person. So if you're trying to step into this, give us something that we don't have. That's why some of those guys pop. Lil Uzi Vert, some of these guys, they might be fly by night, but when they pop out, it's like something we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And I try to get kids to understand, like, look, man, you got to be different. Like, it can't be the same. Like, you can't be the same and try to jump in that lane. So don't be scared of being. You got to be different. Like, we already got people that can read scripts. We need somebody who could go off the cuff and be just as thorough and be just as detailed and just as knowledgeable off the brain, and we need more of that. So I'm proud, man, to hear, you know what I'm saying, that you got that comfort level with that right now.
Yeah. And it's funny because when it was just sportscasting me and when that's what I wanted to do, I noticed how there was an influx of former players who were getting all the jobs in media. They go straight from the field or the court and they're going right into the booth in the suit. And I was like, well, man, how can I compete with that? I mean, I didn't play it at their level and, I can't do the things that they do. But now that was me younger. Now older, I don't care who it is. It could be Joe Buck. It could be Troy Aikman. It could be Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. Right now, right here, right now, put me across from them and let me go. And you're gonna see the difference. And I'm totally confident in that because I'm me. And you're not gonna get this from anywhere else. Yeah.
You know what, man? That's why we related, because I feel the same way about coaching. Like, I don't like disrespect other coaches.
Right.
But I sit and watch TV a lot of times, and I don't do this to coaches because I don't, there's a code with coaches. Like, you don't like to say I would have did this or he should have done that. But just watching the game, sometimes you're like, did they just run that? Or did they not? Like, they coach okay with that shot? I was watching the NBA game last night, and some of the shot selection, I'm just cringing as a high school coach. And I feel like you feel like, it's the game is the game. Mm-hmm. I think you walk into a gym and you with high school kids, or you walk into a gym with NBA players, I think there's a sense of what can I tell them? Well, if you just watch some of the games, you can see that they need coaching. Even though they're NBA guys, they need coach. Everybody's constantly learning the game. So nobody knows everything. But I think there's levels to it where you got, there's some disrespect. And then what will help, this is what helps a lot. When you get guys on a higher level complimenting guys on the lower level. And I don't think that happens enough. I tweeted something last week and I said, I wonder how high school players feel when they hear the NBA coach that's mic'd up saying the same thing in a timeout that their high school coach says in the timeout. Because a lot of times we saying the same stuff, but the kid may not take it from me like he takes it from Tom Thibodeau or Eric Spoelstra. But we say the same stuff, because the game is the game. It's just you got better players in the NBA than you do in high school. And what you're doing, if you had somebody like a Shannon Sharp, be like, hey, man, y'all need to check out my boy Brandon Lampley. Yes. You see what I'm saying? That would change because now you got somebody that everybody looks at who he's giving props to. Because they don't usually give props to each other because it's competition. So you might as well, give some props to guys that you recognize. And then that goes back to guys studying their craft. Because if you study your craft, you'll come across some of your videos. If you study your craft, if I'm into what you're doing, I'm so engulfed in it that I'm Googling, I'm searching, and I'm trying to watch how different people conduct their podcasts and their interview. I would stumble across you at some point if I was doing my homework. That's just what I believe. Yeah. Because that's how I move. I'm on YouTube. I'm looking at girls, high school coach plays. I'm stealing stuff from middle school coaches. I've stole so much stuff over the years as a coach. The basis of our motion offense, my 8 years at Paxon, was from a middle school girls coach that packaged everything up and put it on YouTube, and I implemented it. I don't know the dude. But I was researching one night, and I'm like, if it's good, it's good. It don't matter that he's a middle school coach coaching girls, and I think the guy was like in Wyoming somewhere. And I stole every last bit of the information that he put out there, and I implemented it into our program. So we need more of that. Like, we need more. And I think it is a level of competition where people may okay, well, you know, Brandon Lampley might have my job one day. I'm like, well, no, it's room for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Yes.
it's room for everybody, and the diversity and the abundance satisfies the offer the audience, because everybody don't like. I'm to the point now I don't like listen to Shannon no more. Not to take a shot at Shannon, but it's like I know what he's gonna say. You know what I'm saying? It's like at first it was like, dang, boy, smoking a black and mild, drinking Henderson, like this is crazy. And then after a while, it became like more repetitive. Then it became more. And I think he's authentic. I think he's sincere. I think he does a good job. But I just think after a while, like, okay, man, you need somebody new. You know, I want to see a fresh face. You know, I want to hear a different voice.
And that right there, what you just said, is why it's some for everybody. Because yeah, you're gonna get, that's why they call it 15 minutes of fame. So that's what I learned, is that, like, say like one of my videos, it goes viral and I get people looking at my content and I gain an audience. Now what I need to do is continue to work to keep that audience and continue to add people to the audience. But I do know that some people are going to watch my content. They might watch for a while, then might not watch it no more and go watch somebody else, you know. But you're all, as long as you're putting out content and continuously on it, new people are always going to come into your sphere. And so that's why you shouldn't look at, I don't necessarily look at other people as a threat, because it's some for everybody. Like, there's not this small percentage. They say, okay, there's only 75% left and he's taking up 74 of it, so there's only 1%. No, man, there's enough for everyone, because there's not going to be this one person who's just going to grab everybody's attention and nobody else is going to pay attention to nothing else. You know, there's always going to be an audience just about for anything that you do.
You know what I struggle with? I struggle with, and I don't know if this is I don't know if it's a generational thing or a society thing. I don't know what label you want to put on it. But there's a sense of, when I had it hard because I struggled, the guy that's coming behind me, he needs to struggle too. And I think you got guys that neglect the responsibility to help. Like, if I went through the grind, like when I passed the torch to the new coach at Paxon, once he got hired, we had a conversation. I was so proud to tell him, you know, I was so proud to tell him, like, hey, man, look, you coming in with 2 shooting machines, you coming in with new basketballs. The program has a culture. The gym is nice. The uniforms are nice. Like, I felt proud. Now, when I came in, it wasn't like that. Like, I had to grind, I had to struggle, we had to fundraise, I had to beg, I had to all this stuff to get the program the way it was. I don't want the next guy to go through what I went through. I'm not going to say, you know what, man, I was on my own, so you on your own. I think we have too much of that. Like, if you went through the grind, then make it easier, because it's not the person, it's the people that are in their care. So why would I want it to be hard on a guy and he has kids in his care? I should want to make life as easy as possible for him, because if it's easier for him, then the kids are going to get more out of it. I'm not just going to throw my hands up and say, hey, man, you're on your own. Because I was on I felt like I struggled a little bit because I was taking over a program that was in bad shape. He's taking over a program that's in good shape, so it should be in good shape. Like, I felt proud that I was able to give it to him in that situation. I think we have too much today where, man, it took me 10 years and I had to do this and I got turned down for this job and I got, man, you got to get it. You got to get it like I got it, man. It's like, man, but you telling me you could introduce me to somebody and you not, because nobody introduced you to nobody. Like, we got too much of that, man. I think it should be, and I keep, like, when I saw Puffy on Making of the Band, when Puffy made them people go get the cheesecake and all, man, what I got to do with me being able to sing? Yeah. What I got to do with me? I can see you saying, okay, y'all gonna stay in the studio all night long, something pertaining to music. Yeah. But you got me doing stuff because you trying to duplicate the struggle that you had. Like, it's not your. See, I don't look at it as struggle. I look at it as your path. That's your path. That was your path. That was your path. Your path is not it's not a struggle. That's just your path. So you got people trying to recreate struggles. Like, no, what's the benefit of me being connected with Puff Daddy if I
If I
still
got
got
to
to do
struggle.
all this crazy? I might as well not be connected to you. I might as well got with a producer in Yulee, Florida, who
Yeah.
nobody don't know.
Yeah.
But the benefit of me being with Puff Daddy is because we can get on, and I can get back to where I'm from, and I could put some more people on. But it's like, nah, man, y'all gonna go to Harlem and get this cheesecake and walk here. I'm like, I just had a sour taste. Not that I got beef or nothing like that, but I was like, why do we do that? Why does it have to be like that? Like, I feel like it should be easier for the next group. You just give them the same responsibility. Like, look, I'm helping you. This ain't no free lunch. I'm just helping you. So you got a responsibility. What I'm doing for you, you make sure you appreciate this, and then you help the next group of people.
Right.
We don't have enough of that. We're
Right.
trying to create struggles.
Yeah. That's like right now. I already know. Um, I'm gonna ride this thing to the wheels fall off. I'm gonna see it to the end. I'm gonna continue to pursue this and stay as consistent as possible. Stay ready so I don't have to get ready. So when opportunity comes knocking, I'm ready. So knowing that, I already know that if I decide to have children, they're not going to have the same upbringing that I had. I already know that off top. It's not going to be the same. And there's no slight on, my upbringing because, I had a great upbringing, Robin, Melinda, and Dwayne Lampton, they were great for me. But I already know my kids is going to be a little different, because, might have a little more change, definitely going to have a little more change on me. They're going to be a little more spoiled, maybe a little more entitled or whatever. But I'm not going to manufacture struggle and growing up on the north side of Jacksonville, because they're not going to grow up on the north side of Jacksonville. So there's no need for me to do that, And you're right. It's I had a show called Brandon's Debatable Sports Take. It was my very first show. It was my very first time doing video on my own for this show, and I did it with a group called 21st Men. And now that I'm no longer doing sports like that full time, I'm not doing that show anymore. So they pass it on to somebody else. So another guy's going to take over, and they want me to do the first episode with him and kind of pass it off to him or whatever. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the show with him. Because it's his first time doing it. He hasn't done it before. I'm going to make sure I'm a resource for him. I want to help him out in any way that I can. Tips, tricks, whatever he needs, I'm going to be there for him, because I want that show. I started that show, and I wanted to be successful in his next season under him as well. So, but like you said, people, they want to manufacture struggle. I don't understand that. Why?
I don't know. It could just be a natural reaction or response, but I think it's like, I think some people may think it devalues what they have. Like, if it took me 10 years to get this and then you just come and get it in 2 years, how significant is it? What I have, the career I have, it's not about like this. To me, it's just not about that, because the people that came before us, they did way more crazier stuff just to live every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, people didn't have voting rights. Women didn't have voting rights. People could only live on a certain side of town. So we kind of come in with perks. We don't look at them as perks because we always had them. But people 100 years ago would be in awe at how we live right now. And I just feel like, you got kids. Like, how can we get kids to be a certain type of way as adults when we're functioning a certain type of way and they're watching us? And that turns into the little kid, not wanting to do something for their friend. No, you get your own money. I'm not giving you none of my candy. But I think that's where it starts at. You know what I'm saying? It creates a dynamic, and I think this is a world, we can live in a different world. Like, it doesn't have to be the bitterness and the everything doesn't have to be competition. I think competition is good, but I think we can compete and still be compassionate, for your fellow brother or your fellow man. So, hopefully as time goes on, man, we'll get a little bit better at that.
Hopefully so, man. And I mean, I'm excited for the future. I talk to my parents, talk to my dad, talk to my mom all the time. And one thing I told both of them, I said I'm going to need you guys. I said, I mean, this is uncharted territory for me. I have no idea where I'm going with this, how it's going to turn out, the people I'm going to come across, and the situations I'm going to be put in. So I'm going to lean on them heavily for guidance, because I know even if them not being in entertainment and doing stuff like that, it's just certain things that at them being with their experience and their wisdom that they're going to know. It's certain situations that they're going to see and they're going to be like, yeah, Brandon, this is not a good situation. This isn't somebody you should trust, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that. I'm going to continuously lean on them, for those things. So I'm excited for the future, man. You know what I'm saying?
Just stay grounded, man. Like I tell people, stay grounded. Don't forget where you come from, and don't forget where you come from. That doesn't mean like, I think that message has been like misconstrued over the years, and like one thing I struggle with survivor's remorse, like bad, like growing up
Mm-hmm.
where I grew up, and you had guys that you look up to when you were a kid,
Yeah.
and guys that had money when you were a kid, and now that guy's like 60, 55 years old, and he's not doing so well.
Right.
And back when you were a kid, that guy used to put money in your pocket, or that guy used to support you, and you multiply that guy by like times 10. And I struggle, like not that I feel like I owe him something, but sometimes I feel guilty about some of the success that I may have, when I know like it's a group of people somewhere that may not be doing so good, that help me that mold me as a person. Like
Yeah.
people that's responsible for your character, they're responsible for your integrity, your toughness. They not doing well, or they're not doing as well as they could.
Yeah.
I struggle with that. I struggle with that bad, and that keeps me grounded. Like that keeps me. Funny story. At Paxon, coaching at Paxon, the last 3 years, we've made some deep runs in the playoffs. And before the game, on my way to the school, I would stop by Grand Park, like park right in front of the park, and I would sit there for like 15 minutes, because I feel like I needed that fresh in my mind, just seeing where I come from. Like I needed that fresh on my mind, and it just kind of gave me a different mindset of focus, going into the game. And that was my routine. Like, but it's because it's like I don't ever want to get to the point to where no matter what I do, no matter how successful I am, I kind of forget that. So it's not, when I say don't forget where you come from, it's not like you got to go around and break bread with everybody and pay homage. It's not that. It's that there should be some comfort in always going back. There should be some peace in always going back, and there should be some confidence in going just to see your people, like going just to see guys and hug guys, and just ask them how they doing. The phone is good and texting is good, but it's like I never want to get to the point where like I don't want to lay eyes on the people or the place that I feel like made me. So for me, man, like just that part, like just staying, like if you keep that, like your family, your base, your parents, if you keep that as your foundation, you'll never stray like far. Like that stuff can come and go, success can come and go, failures can come and go, but those people and where you come from will always keep you, when I say grounded, like nobody got to be like, I can't believe that's Brandon. I can't believe you know what I'm saying? It's like you always want to stay within yourself, like you know who you are, and that's what keeps you, the highs and lows keep you steady during the highs and lows. So if I pop off and something big happen, I appreciate it. If the world seems like it's about to end, I'm still kind of like right there, even kill. So
Right.
that's what, to me, like that's what that means to me. Like not forgetting where you come from. It's not. Some guys think, oh man, I made it, so I got to go to the hood and buy everybody a car, and I got to do it. It's not that. It's letting those people know that you care about them no matter what you have going on. That's what that means to me.
Right. What's important to me in doing this, it's not money, it's not fame, it's not clout, it's not any of those things. What's important to me is impact. Am I making an impact? Impacting those around me and even impacting those who I don't know. That's what's important to me. Being a beacon of light for those who have helped me get to the point where I am now. Because, I have a great support system. It's plenty of people that I can call to get whatever I need. Like at no point am I going to have to go without. If I do, it's going to be because I choose to, not because I have to. So with those people who are great people, I want to make sure that I can enrich their lives as much as possible the further I go.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so right now, let's just make believe. Right now, I am a honcho
Mm-hmm.
in the entertainment industry.
Okay,
entertainment media. Okay. Brandon, we like what you're doing. We love what you got going on. What do you want to do? I got you. What platform? What level? What industry? I got you. Don't worry about anything. I can open any door. You just tell me, what platform do you want? What title do you want?
Right.
Don't worry about any type of red tape. Don't worry about any of that. I got all of that covered. You tell me what days of the week what platform, what topics, what do you want to be? I got
you. So my answer to that is growing on basically growing my show across all social media platforms. So this show has morphed from something where I just talked about sports to now, man, I've interviewed all types of people from music artists to former athletes. I interviewed Dwight Follins. I think it was yesterday. He's a pastor. Dr. Mark Seymour. He's an author and a doctor. I interviewed him a couple weeks back. And so getting to know and interviewing interesting people. That's where I think my niche is going to be, because what that do is I get introduced to new people. One of the and I never really watched the show, but I've heard about his adventures and his travels. And one day I'm gonna binge watch all of his stuff. But Anthony Bourdain flew around the world and had great meals and with amazing people. He interviewed and he talked to people. And I said, man, that is something that I would love to do. No matter where it is, going anywhere in the world, no matter what the person's profession is, what it is, going there, interviewing them, talking to them, seeing the land and traveling and things like that. That is something I definitely want to do. And then, after I've done that for a little while, this is kind of new too. I know I could do what's the dude's name? Conan O'Brien, David Letterman, Jay Leno, Jimmy Fallon, Larry King. Put me in the suit. Put me in there. Let's go. Oh yeah, 5 nights a week. I'm ready.
I like to ask that question, man. It's just the coaching me. Like the coaching me, I'm used to like guiding young men, and you have to know where you want to go first. Mm-hmm. Like we get consumed with how am I going to get there? Like that part doesn't matter. We'll figure out how to get there. We first got to know where we're going. Once we figure out, because then this is the beauty of it to me. Once we figure out we want to go to Tampa, mm-hmm. Now we just got to figure out we're going to take 10 to 75, or we're going to take 301 to 75, or we're going to take 95 to 4. So the beauty of it all is always multiple ways to get to wherever you want to go. But first you got to figure out where you want to go. So I'd rather have the problem of how am I going to get there versus having a problem of I don't know where I want to go. Like
Yes.
you that part is the encouraging part. Man, I know I want to go. Once you figure out where you want to go, it's always going to be a bunch of ways that you can get there. It's always going to be a bunch of avenues that you get there. Most of the time, it's like in the most unexpected way that you ever thought that you would get there. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about how. Like we'll figure that out. But as long as we know where we want to go and we keep that focus on where we want to go and all our actions are aligned with where we want to go, we'll figure out how to get there at some point. At some point, we'll get there. And it's never going to be one road to anywhere. It's never going to be one road to anywhere.
Yeah. And not to mention also a foray in just about every form of entertainment. So, movies, because I'm definitely going to want to do some acting classes. I'm going to want to get into the music, not necessarily rap or sing or anything like that, but being a part of music, especially. And English was always my best subject, and I can write just like and I can prognosticate. So that's what I do. So eventually I want to write music, for people. So I mean, I want to have my hands in just about everything.
It's funny. I never told nobody this. My wife would probably pass out and shit. I always wanted to be a ghostwriter. Like, I always wanted to be a ghostwriter. Like, I always wanted to be a ghostwriter. Like, that's just something like I always, because I used to write poems and stuff in high school and a little bit as an adult. And like, I'm not a rapper. But a lot of times I'm listening to rap music, I'm like, man, you could have said that another way. Like I could have flipped that a whole nother way. Or sometimes I might just be playing around in the car and I might just be freestyling. And I'm like, man, I done came up with some stuff. Like if somebody like 20 years younger than me was saying this, like it'll be popular. It ain't cool for me to be saying it. But I always like wanted it. That's like one of my like secret ambitions. Like if I had somebody that they said, look, man, you got 3 tries and you pick one rapper, you got 3 tries. You can write 3 songs, 3 raps to see if he'll take one of them. Like I always just give me that opportunity. I don't care who it is. Give me that opportunity. It gotta be somebody in my lane though. It gotta be, it gotta be somebody in my lane. I can't write for
these new young guys, man.
Yeah, I can't write for them. They doing all kind of stuff. Like some of this stuff I can't even imagine that they doing on the song.
Yeah.
But give me somebody who kind of like going to work or who might have a family or, who might, have some responsibility about, taking care of themselves or health or, family stuff. Like give me somebody that's in that lane and then let me write something for them. Like I would love that opportunity.
Yeah, it's got to be an OG. They always talk about artists and how their music changes. And I say, you got to remember success changed them as well. They're not when you first, my brother was talking about Kendrick Lamar. He's like, man, Good Kid, Mad City. That was his best album, man. He was great, man. It was good. He said, now he's got to listen to him some, but I don't listen to him as much, and the count is not the same, but he's still good. I say, you talking about 2 totally different people.
Right.
We talking about Kendrick, who was on the come up. Definitely struggle was a part of it. Him still trying to figure things out. So you got it in. That was him in his purest form. Right. Now he's already successful. He's already won awards. And so now you're getting this perspective and this part of his life. You're not getting the old Kendrick. You're getting new Kendrick.
A lot of dudes, I ain't gonna call no names, but a lot of dudes are afraid to grow with their music. Like they don't really realize, like, okay, if you started rapping when you was 19 and you was hot, right? That's probably because you had a lot of 19-year-olds, 16-year-olds listening to you. Okay, now all of us are 40. So we kind of got the same issues and concerns now that we're 40. So just keep rapping for us. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a fear of if I start rapping my age, I'm not going to make any money. So you got dudes almost 50 still rapping about stuff that they did when they was 20. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a fear. Like, I think they know, like, hey, I'm reaching. But I think there's a fear of to stay relevant. And I'm like, no, you still got a fan base. Like, you still have a strong fan base and the people who started with you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, you don't necessarily have to, like, because we stopped listening to you because, like, it's like you losing a hero. It's like, come on, man. Like
Yeah.
you got kids now. This person got kids. We got, wife drama. You got family drama. You got, you got different stuff that you going on as an adult that you didn't have as a kid. Like, keep rapping about your life. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And you'll still keep that fan base. I'm like, it just kind of hurt me to listen to a dude that I grew up on. And it's like, dude, it's the same stuff when we was
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we don't do
You
that. We don't do that anymore.
yeah, you can't be 50 still doing coke flow rap.
I'm
Like
like, you
what
can. Like, you can. But I'm
you
like,
can, but dude, you 50. You ain't sold coke in 30 years. Like
I
what
used to tell my kids, like, you know, my players, I'm like, listen, man, I can't, as a coach and a semi role model, like, I can't go to the trap. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I can't go to the trap. Like, and for music, for me, like, I love lyrics. Like, the beat don't really do to. I'm not a dancer, not like that. So I like listen to lyrics, and you got to be saying something for me that's going to help me. So you got to think about this as a basketball coach that's over some kids. Like, I need to hear something that's going to motivate me to go deal with them. I
Yeah.
need to listen to something that's going to help me inspire them. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? I can't get out the car and go in them with them about, we talk about the trap and we talk about, I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I like to share. So I like to listen to music. I tell my kids, hey, I know y'all ain't never heard of this artist, but let me tell you what he said. And I was able to do that before a game that we played, a playoff game this year. I used to have a song for every game that I would listen to, and it's always old rap for me. And I told the kids, I say, look, man, this is where we at tonight, man. This is what coach listening to tonight. And it was something that was relevant to the situation, and it was motivational. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So it's like, I need what's going into me is going to go out to these kids. I can't have anything going into me, especially before a game. So I'm
Yeah.
finicky when it comes to my music, man.
To programming, man. Programming. It's everywhere. It's not only in music, social media, YouTube. I'm watching it now with my nieces and how they're just picking up things they're seeing on social media. And saying parents allowing social media to raise their children, and it's not going to end well, man. It's something that you can't allow that to be the teaching tool. You have to be the teacher.
Yeah,
You know.
I think some parents, I tread light when I talk about parents because I don't have kids, but I think some parents underestimate the impact. Like,
Mhm.
you got kids that they self-esteem will drop if they post a picture and nobody liked the picture. Like,
Yeah.
it affects their self-esteem because they thought they posted a picture, they thought they were cute, or they thought they had on nice shoes. Nobody don't like, or only 3 people like the picture. It
Yeah.
affects their self-esteem. You know what I'm
It
saying?
does.
So it's a lot of that stuff going on. I think it's being underestimated, like how social media is setting a standard for the well-being, the mental well-being of some kids. I think that's what's being underestimated. Like, and they own it all day. And I don't think all social media is bad. I think it's some good that come out of social media. But at the same time, I think you got to figure out a way to monitor what your child is doing, because you got predators also out there that's preying on young kids, making dummy accounts like they kids, and it's grown people preying on
Yep.
kids, and you got the kids that got dummy accounts that the parents don't know about. So kids got 3 or 4 accounts that they got going, and it's just a big responsibility for a kid to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like it. Me personally, I don't like it. I don't like kids to have what grown people have. Like, I just think that's too, like, I don't like kids to have cell phones. It's probably why I don't have kids. I don't like kids to have cell phones
Mm.
because, and I'm old school, it's like, if you 9, when are you ever supposed to be by yourself? Like, if you're not with me, you should be around some adult.
Yeah.
That's just me. And I'm old
Mm.
fashioned, I'm old school. But you got some people like, well, they need a phone so I can get in contact with them. I'm like, okay, At what point are they not? They either gonna be with the school bus driver, with the school teacher, or somebody picking them up from school, or they on their way home from school, like, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't remember as a kid being able to navigate around too much without the presence of an adult at that age. And I know times are different now. I'm not getting into that. Like, people, you could buy your kid what you want to buy your kid. I just think what it does, like, it loosens the leash. Say, okay, well, they got a phone, they got a way. Okay, well, the kid don't answer the phone. Or now the battery dead. You know what I'm saying? So it just, I'm like, nah, I need to make sure that you move in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You move in a certain way. You don't need this. That's this grown people. Like, I got a phone, I pay the bill. This is that's just old fashioned Toby Frazier, old school, you know, raising and stuff like that. Like what kids, you know, but times are changing. People are different. The world is changing. Communication is different. But I just feel like when kids, the more things that kids have that grown people have, they have a tendency to act a certain way, because after a while they start acting like they're grown. Because they're like, I got a phone. So you got a Facebook? I got a Facebook too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I think that's just, you can't expect they're kids. They have to kind of be taught the way. Like they don't come into the world knowing. We didn't come into the world knowing anything. We were taught. And whatever we were taught, that's what we were taught. Whatever we were allowed to do, we did whatever we were allowed to do. You see what I'm saying? I think that's what's underestimated. Like, they're gonna do. It's hard for a kid to govern themselves. Like, that's the purpose of parents, or that's the purpose of adults. Like, you got a kid, but you know, it's the society that we live in. It presents different challenges, and you know, people like to talk about the village. It takes a village, but you got some people that don't want the village. You know what I'm saying? Like, the village used to be encouraged. Now you got some, you know, hey, don't say nothing to my son, man. That's my son.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got some people that don't want the village. It's like, I feel like we need a village, but I find myself apprehensive now. If I see a kid doing something wrong, I'm a little apprehensive, because I'm like, okay, he doing something wrong. He needs some redirection. But I may have to deal with his mama or daddy. I don't know how they're going to respond. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're going to, you know, back in the day, it was, if you were a grown person, you were right because you were grown. So if Mr. Johnny said, get out the tree, I never saw Mr. Johnny a day in my life. But if Mr. Johnny told you to get out that tree, you need to get your butt out the tree, because you don't have no business in the tree. Not because we don't know Mr. Johnny. Keep playing in the tree. He don't tell you what to do. He not your dad. Like, we've gotten away from like what's best for the kid versus who's best for the kid. It got to be what's best for the kid. So if it's a stranger stopping my kid from doing something, or a kid from doing something that may endanger themselves or hurt themselves, like, you should support that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we get to a certain point, hey man, look, I appreciate you, but you know, next time, you know, can you come get me first? But we'll have confrontation with another adult in front of a kid. That kid is never going to respect that adult. Which, since we sports guys too, you got parents and coaches who cuss out and yell at officials who are adults in front of a kid. Like, one thing I've never done as a coach, I've never disrespected an official. I've never gotten a technical foul. I've never done that, because I told myself I'm never going to disrespect another adult in the presence of a kid. Like that, those are adults. Like, those people have jobs. They have families. That's a person. Like, he called a foul on your son.
What up, Ness?
You know what I'm saying? He called a foul on your son. That's fine. That's within the game. But you can't call a man a clown, or man, you suck, man, you stupid, man, ref, what you teaching your child is this okay to disrespect some adults if they not for us. Like that, we got to, as a community, like, some refs are bad. Like, a lot of them are bad. You know what I'm saying? it's some bad kids. It's some bad coaches. So it's like we got to get to the point where back to the level of respect in the community for people in the community. Because I tell you what, elected referees don't show up. Everybody looking for them. Let them come back late after halftime. Everybody looking for them. So they are important, but it can't be they are important because we need them for the day. Those are people, man. Like that's somebody's daddy. That's somebody's brother. You can't call a man a clown because he called a travel on your son or he made a bad call. Like, and your son's sitting there listening at you call another grown man a clown. So when 5 games later and that dude reffing another game, your son gonna end up calling that guy a clown because you kind of empowered him. You've empowered him now because the kids watch us. They get confidence from us. Right. So if they see respect from us, they'll give respect. Like we got to get back to that, man. Like I wish I had some magic potion, but I'm just big on respect, man. Like especially when you're talking about kids, like. The respect is different. The lack of respect is different. I think kids have the same temptations that we had as kids. I think kids skip school. We skip school. You had kids trying to gamble in school. We gambled in school. Like, I think what's different is now you see an adult coming, we would stop or we would run.
They don't do that
now it's like, there go Mr. Johnson.
You want to get in.
So?
You trying to get in on this?
Or you trying to get in.
Yeah.
So the adults are a little different to me than the kids. We kind of like have an acceptance for a lot of stuff that the kids do that our elders didn't have. And it's like, you want to do that, man, you got to, when you get grown or when you get out my house or when you start taking care of yourself, you can do some of that stuff. But long as I'm taking care of you, long as you stay in my house, I just ask you to do what I tell you to do. That's respect. That's all it is. It ain't got to be about whooping you or beating you or threatening you. It's just like, hey, man, I tell the story all the time. I don't know if you remember this, but if you ever noticed when you came to my mama's house, we didn't have doors on our room.
Yeah.
And her rule was there's nothing that you should be doing in my house that I don't know about. Why do you need a door?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now you see where I get my thought process by the cell phone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Now, I didn't like the fact, the only thing I didn't like about not having a door is I was embarrassed when my friends came over. You're like, man, I thought we can go in your room and close the door. That's why I said come to your room. And I'm like, no, man, I don't have no door. They're like, man, we might well go back outside.
Hey, my mom said they ain't have doors either. Mandela Hooks ain't played it.
So it was like, but as I got older, I realized like it wasn't about the door, it was more about the principle. There's nothing you should be doing in my house that I can't see or that I don't know about. What you need to close the door for?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And what that did was it subconsciously make you move a certain way. And what it also did was it give you an incentive to try to hurry up and get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
The part is like, it don't need to be comfort. Like you don't need comfort in the home. Like if you got too much comfort, you may not want to leave. I had to find a way to twist you a little bit. I got to find a way to make this a little uncomfortable for you to give you some incentive to get up out of here. And that was the message. Like, I don't love you or I'm trying to make you miserable. It's like your parents' home is a pit stop for you. So I tell my kids that play for me, I say, this is how this should go. You're in the 9th grade right now. Okay. In 4 years, you want to be in a position to tell your parents, because you let me use your house, because you let me use your car to get me back and forth where I needed to go, because you provided the food and stuff like that for me, or whoever take care of you, I'm about to go do this. Because you provided that for me, I'm now about to go do this. If you ask a kid right now, say if they got a house and got 2 cars, you ask a kid right now, hey man, how many cars do you have? Oh, I got 2 cars. It's like, you got 2 cars? You 15? You got 2 cars? Oh, well, my mama got a car and my dad. I'm like, well, that's their car.
Yeah.
You got access to 2 cars. You don't have a car. We have kids subconsciously feel like they got a house. They feel like they got vehicles, and they feel like they got money because their parents got it. It's like, no, man, we need some incentive for you to get out so you get your own car, you get your own house, you take care of your own family. Like, that's what we need to be pushing the kids to, because at some point you're gonna have a kid, you're gonna be somebody's dad, you're gonna tell your son, hold on, man, let me call your granddaddy so we can go to the movies. Let me get some money for your granddaddy so we go to the movies. Like, we got to find a way to find that balance to teach them some responsibility. We take care of them, we love them, but we got to make sure they're responsible at the same time. And it's a pit stop, man. Like, that's all it is.
Yes, and that's gonna say, sad part is you have adults who perpetuate wrongdoing of kids, and yeah, they do. They do, and I think, especially with social media and kids, what you talked about earlier, the biggest detriment to that is going to be the lack of personal interaction that a lot of kids are going to have. Because even now, I see it to where me talking to you through this, like here, it doesn't compare to when I'm going to talk to you in person. 2 totally different things, man. That being able to see somebody, hear them, touch them is second to none. But a lot of kids, they don't have that. They have the phone. They have the phone. They got the computer. They got the games. So in-person interactions is going to be limited as the years go on, and that's going to be a problem. It's going to create a whole different set of problems that you didn't have, problems that I didn't have.
I've been going at. I'm a big advocate for the kids on Twitter. Like, we have a Paxon basketball Twitter page, and I advocate for the kids a lot. Like, with college coaches, I would see college coaches take shots at that kid. I wouldn't call it taking shots, but you may get a coach that may post. He may say, "I text the kid that I'm recruiting," and the kid like texts me back 1-word, 2-word answers. So he kind of took it as, if the kid not interested, just say you're not interested. And I'm like, look, man, like, he's in the process, or she's in the process of learning how to communicate. Like, you can't expect a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid to text you back this fluent conversation like they grown. Like, that as a potential college coach, that's a growth opportunity for you with that kid. Like, once you keep recruiting him, then when you get him on campus, you kind of help him grow his communication level. But you got some grown people, like, they don't want to grow the kids. I'm like, that kid is a normal kid. They don't communicate like we communicate. They didn't grow up on the phone talking all night. They text all night, or they tweet, or they Instagram all night. They don't necessarily talk the way we talk. There's not a lot of face-to-face. Even when they're in school with each other across the cafeteria, they'll just text each other. They won't even go sit by each other and talk. So to have the expectation of a kid, I think it's too much. You know what I'm saying? To have the expectation. I think what you do is, when you see it, you grab them and you say, hey, man, look. Or you call the kid and say, hey, look, I'm recruiting you. I'm interested in you. I'm going to be communicating. What's best for you to communicate? And through that one conversation, you can hear how he talks. And it'll explain why he texts the way he texts. Because that same kid is probably going to be timid on the phone. And it's not nothing to do with like education level or competency or nothing like that. It's just how I'm used to communicating. I'm used to using shorthand with my friends. I'm used to using shorthand with people that I talk to. So just because you're a college coach, I'm not finna text you a paragraph all of a sudden. Like, that's not how I communicate. So either you want to grow that kid, or you're going to recruit kids that only know how to text the right way. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get back to where we growing them. Like, we could be on them, but we got to help them too. There was another coach I went at yesterday. She posted, I don't like seeing, I can't stand seeing highlight tapes with free throws in them. So I responded, I say, hey, don't tell them what you don't want to see. Tell them what to include in the highlight tape.
Right.
Because what kid is going to put free throws in a highlight tape if they think it's going to hurt them?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The kid is thinking, and I know what the kid is thinking because I used to be a kid. The kid is thinking, I'm trying to show the coach I could do everything. They may wonder if I could shoot free throws. So I'm going to show them. Then you have this college coach who posts, I don't want to see free throws in a highlight tape. Okay, if you don't want to see free throws, that's fine. Tell the kids what you do want to see.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I think that part is missing. Like, it's easy to tell a kid, hey man, don't say that. Yeah, you tell them what you do say. Hey man, don't tell nobody to shut up. If you don't like what somebody's saying, you tell them, hey, excuse me, can you please be quiet? Can you please hold it down? Like, you got to give them solution. You can't just give them, you got to give them some solution. They're kids.
Yeah, the art of communication has been lost, man. A lot of people don't understand that you have to speak their language first before you speak your own, because that's the way you're going to get their attention. Speak their language, and then once you speak their language, you grab their attention. Now speak your language.
Right.
And that's how you do it. Let's see what Nesco say. Nesco say, I met 3 young men today. All had become fathers yet could not produce their own identification to visit their new child. I was blown away with, if you're not responsible enough to keep up with your own identification, then what kind of father will you be? Man, you come to see your baby and you won't even have ID.
Yeah.
To be able to come see a child.
But like I say, man, like, as a coach, and you've been a coach as well, people will be amazed. They tall and they look a certain way, but you'll be amazed. They kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know. And if nobody ever teaches you, you know what I'm saying? Like, if nobody ever teaches you how to do stuff or the importance of stuff, you're not gonna know. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is that 15-year-old kid that nobody teaches turn into a 22-year-old man. Into a 32-year-old man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and that's why I'll say, back to my earlier statement, like, I was so gracious to have guys in my life outside of my house that was teaching me stuff. You know what I'm saying? Teaching me life skills, teaching me how to conduct myself, how to carry myself, teaching me how to tie ties, and just how you weigh your lapel pin. And like, if you don't know, if nobody teaches you, a lot of this stuff you have to be taught. Like, nobody come out the womb like knowing a whole bunch of stuff, but we have to, there's certain stuff that we interested in teaching and certain stuff that we're not interested in teaching. We gotta grow people as whole. Like, we neglect a lot of, like, financial literacy. We neglect a lot of communication styles and importance of different stuff, like having your identification, being able to show who you are. Like, we take it for granted because it seems like it's so common. Like, who would do that? But no, it's certain people in the world that we live in that they are maybe pushed to the side for whatever reason, or neglected for whatever reason, and not taught certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? They become a part of our society, and we have to, we have to deal with, a big thing for me now is the younger generation. Like, some of the younger people, they're responsible now for providing customer service to us.
Yes.
So now when you go to certain restaurants or you go to certain spots, a younger person is responsible for, they're the front, they're the face, they're at the register, they're the hostess, or, you know what I'm saying? And depending on, I've been to the doctor's office and person on the phone while they're trying to check, they on their cell phone trying to check me in. And it's like, you can't get off the phone to check me in, like you. But that's, you know what I'm saying? Nobody has. I don't know if there's been enough of teaching of what's the word I'm looking for? The order of operation with certain things. Just being polite to people, being respectful to people, being accommodating. When you're in those roles, and if you never taught somebody to tell you, hey, you need to get a job. Okay, I got the job. You just told me to get a job. You didn't tell me to be perky, to smile, to say good morning, to say good afternoon. You know what I'm saying? You didn't tell me all that stuff. I got a job. You should be happy I got a job. You know what I'm saying? You should be happy. I'm here to serve you when you come into the establishment. That's kind of like the attitude. You know what I'm saying? So,
you lucky I'm here.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically, but it's a lot, man. And my mission as coaching, I just said, the people that I come in contact with, the young men that I come in contact with, I'm going to try to impact their lives as much as I can so they can be productive young men, go out into the world, and they can grab hold to other people and kind of, just be a good person. Like my whole message, man, be a nice person, be good to people, be unselfish, always try to help. Just try to be a light for somebody. Like don't always be a person that take. Don't be the person who want to take all the time. So I hopefully, the young men that I've tried to groom over the years, I've instilled some stuff into them to where they go out. And I just believe that people that's in your care or in your immediate environment, just try to push them to be better so they can encourage them to go push other people to be better. I just think that's our only hope with that. Nobody can save the world. You can't change everybody. I just think you can try to influence the people that's around you as much as you can.
Yeah. So 2 quick stories. We're gonna get into a little NBA before we finish. So like I was I think it was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday I was headed to my dad's house and I pulled up to the gas station and had these people, they car I guess had ran out of gas. They're trying to push it to the tank. So I got out, of course, helped them, no biggie, and they were very thankful. So I go in and grab me an icy and head to my dad's house. I get to the counter with my icy. The lady whose car it was, she's a worker at the gas station. She said, "Oh, baby, that's on me. I appreciate your help." Boom. Don't you see? And I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know who she was. So that's why they always treat people with respect, no matter who you're talking to, no matter who you're dealing with, because you never know who knows who or who knows what. Second story. Only time I've ever laughed when the ref was disrespected. And this is Coach Ivory Durham of the MOT Cowboys. I don't know if you know who that is, but no, that dude is something else, man. Coach Scrap, Scrap is what they call him. We were in Tampa, and my little brother Toby played for them, and we were at the Nationals, and in the middle of a game, and he got into it with the refs about a call. And so he's talking to the white hat. That's the referee. Everybody else is black hats, the officials. The referee with the white hat, he's talking to him. Black hat ref, sideline judge, starts talking to him. This is a black guy. And the guy, he was a little spicy. He going back and forth with him. He was a little spicy too. So all he need is an inch. And he went, I'll give him an inch and he going to take a mile. So when the dude got a little spicy with him, he said, "Man, shut up. I'm not talking to you. Your hat black." And I laughed, man. see, that's the only time I've ever, that's the only time I've ever seen disrespect. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty funny right there, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Hold on. Okay, I got one more. See, Ness says, I spoke with them and explained to them the importance of having identification on you and about the journey of being your father that they're about to embark upon. 2 appreciated my advice. 1 walked away cursing at me for doing my job, and he never returned. We must take advantage of every opportunity to show them the right way every time it presents itself. Yeah, Ness, every single time. Every single time I have a chance to make an impact, especially on a young black man's life, I'm going to do so.
Yeah, man. I and the reaction, like I never got too much into the reaction. Like I always found peace in like I felt like I told you what was right. Like you want to cuss and walk off, storm off, or whatever. I'm cool with that, but I just find peace in like I told you to the best of my knowledge. I told you what I thought was right. So however you take it, that's on you. But I sleep good at night knowing that you feel bad. You're like, dang, I probably should have said something, and you didn't. You feel bad. I think you feel worse about the stuff you didn't say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So. Well, yeah, man. Let's get into this. Did you watch last night's game? Did you watch the Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah, I watched that game. I didn't watch the second game. I watched that game.
Yeah, the later game, I didn't get to watch much of that game. But I saw Donovan Mitchell going off early, and I said, yeah, that's the end of it for the Clippers in this game. Because if he's able to get what he wants, he had 37, and they ended up winning. But the Bucks and the Nets, I mean, that was do or die for Giannis, and I'm so glad that he was able to go into his bag, him and Chris Middleton, and pull out a win in Milwaukee. Make some better ratings, make for better basketball and better TV. But I think they combined for the most points or something in NBA playoff history as far as teammates, so like 68 points. They played defense is what won them that game. Make no mistake about it. They had to put the ball in the hoop, but if they don't play defense, they do not win that game last night.
You know, I struggle a little bit, man, to be honest with you, with NBA basketball. I prefer to watch college basketball. If I just could sit and watch, I would watch college. The NBA, to me, I think the coaches, I think they're good coaches, but I think they get caught up in the guys that they have. So Giannis is not a guy that you just throw the ball to. Like, he's not that guy. Like, to me, he's a guy that you should run stuff for. Like, if he's playing for me, I'm running him off a lot of pin downs where we're curling, catching the ball in the middle of the paint. I'm trying to do stuff while I'm getting him the ball closer to the basket. He's not one of those guys you just throw the ball to. But from a fan perspective, a lot of fans are okay because the ball is in his hand, because it's supposed to be our best player. I'm like, but that, at the end of the day, it's not productive. Kyrie Irving, you could just give him the ball. Like, he has that type of skill set where he's one of those guys you could just get a ball to. So it's hard to watch. Like, it's just hard to watch Milwaukee play because it has killed Drew Holiday. Like, Drew Holiday is completely obsolete because the way they play, they don't need anybody to kind of like run the show. So they would be better. Like, it would be more serviceable for them to have like a JJ Redick, just guys that can shoot the ball around him. Yeah. You kind of like eliminate what Drew Holiday can do. He's not a spot up, a catch and shoot guy. You know what I'm saying? So either we gonna have this some type of continuity offense that we throw in a quick hitter here and there, but it can't be you just throw the ball to him in the middle of the floor. And that's just not who he is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's kind of hard to watch. But I felt like if Bruce Brown shoot a floater instead of trying to get all the way to the rim, I think he panicked. For one, it's foreign territory for him being in that situation, with the clock running down in a game, in a playoff game. I think he kind of panicked. He doesn't shoot that well, so I think he tried to get to the rim. I think if he shoot a floater like he had been shooting and he hit, I think they win. Not saying that that's the position that made them lose the game, but I think as bad as Brooklyn played offensively, for it to come down to that, I just feel like Milwaukee in trouble. Like,
they're still in trouble.
And if Chris Middleton, I don't think that's sustainable. Like, the way he shot the ball last night, I don't think that's sustainable. It's he can shoot it, but if he has to duplicate that for them to win, like they won't win. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't win. So I honestly think that Brooklyn win the next two games and close out.
Gentlemen sweep them. Oh man.
Yeah, I think they close out just because the way, like, you don't have a bench. Milwaukee doesn't have a bench. You don't have the guys that you're gonna trust. And like I say, you kind of some of the NBA coaches, they get kind of robotic, and it's just from my years of watching, not being judgmental. But there's no way you could tell me if I got a set rotation and we're in the playoffs and I got the same set rotation. Like, some of these games, some of you guys, you got to play the whole first half. Period. I call the timeout to get you a blow. But you got guys that's still on the same set rotation as they are during the season. I'm like, dude, it can't be so scripted, especially when it's winning time. Like, it's when to go home. Like, why are we so scripted? And I just think with Milwaukee, like, their other guys, Bobby Portis is a good player. Forbes is a good player. They're just not like those type of guys. You know what I'm saying? They're not. And it's not a lot of those guys, to be honest with you. I look around the league. I think Utah has a gym in my man. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
Donovan Mitchell?
No, 6th man of the year.
Oh, Clarkson.
Like, Clarkson is like the G off the bench now. Like he's the OG off the bench. Like nobody else has that. You know, it could be Danny Green a little bit, but you talk
Similar
about
to Lou Williams.
Yeah, a veteran guy that can score off the bench. Usually that's your NBA champion, if you think about it, in years past. The team that had the best six man or one of the better six man, some of these other guys, they just kind of like putting in time. Like it's not a lot of production there. You're not getting that game from somebody that you like, man, if like with Bruce Brown 2 games ago, you're like, man, if James Harden, Bruce Brown still come in and give you like 20, 18, 20. Like you don't have a lot of teams that's getting that right now. You know, Lou Williams not giving you that right now for the Hawks. Danny Green not really giving you that right now for Philadelphia. But Utah scares me because they got that dude. They got that dude that where Donovan Mitchell struggled, they got another dude who can score 40.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got a whole nother dude that can score 40. So Milwaukee just don't do it for me, man. I like Giannis. I think he's good for the game. I just think that, you know, I like to see guys get their money, but I think when you give a guy that much money, not saying he doesn't deserve the money, but I just think it's hard for me to start adding stuff to my game when you gave me that as is.
Yeah. So one of my soon becoming favorite players to watch, Trae Young. That dude.
He's starting to grow on me. He's
grown on me. Seemingly,
he ain't grown on me yet.
I mean, and then playing for Atlanta, you know, it's Atlanta. You know, Atlanta hasn't been relevant, you know, and we haven't won anything in a long time. And even when they had their best teams, they didn't do much. Yeah. But him being in Atlanta and when they on a downward spiral, and now they made the playoffs, and now he's making a name for himself. And I'm able to see him more. This is the most I've ever watched him play basketball.
That's true.
And the more I've seen him, the more I've liked him.
Yeah, I like Trae, man. I like him. Like I said, I as a former point guard, the game is changing, but I struggle with small guys that are volume shooters. I just struggle with that. It's just something that I struggle with as a coach, as a former point guard. And I know the game is different and guys have to do what they can for their team to win. I just struggle with one of my smallest guys being a volume shooter. It's just if the team may not be made up right for that too. I'm more of a Rondo type guy, facilitator.
Chris Paul,
that's more of my lane. So when I see these guys, and I give them credit, like he can shoot, he's skillful. Kyrie, they skillful, they can play, like not taking nothing away from them, just not my cup of tea. If I'm putting my team together, I have to move you off the ball. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I can if Lou could play some point and move Trae off the ball, and you got Trae on one side and Bogdanovic on the other side, that's scary. With Herter on the floor too. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Now you struggle with nobody gonna ever double Capella in the post. So but it may give him an opportunity to play one-on-one in certain situations with that much shooting on the floor. But I would try to find a way to get Trae off the ball, because you end up putting him in situations where he's shooting more off the dribble. Imagine if he was in catch and shoot situation majority of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like if he can shoot it like that, I'm gonna put you in catch and shoot situations. I don't want you killing yourself off the dribble, taking 9, 10 dribbles every possession, then you shooting a pull-up, contested pull-up at that. I'm gonna put you in a situation where we're just gonna take you off the ball and you can catch and shoot. Right. You know, so that's just my take. I'm old school, man.
No, I feel you on that. That's like putting the ball in Devin Booker's hands and having him hey, be a facilitator and go get me 30. No, I want him shooting. That's what I want him to focus on, the shooting.
Right. Yeah. And it just make the game easier for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It just make it easier. But your team have to be built a certain type of way. And the coach have to have a certain type of vision, you know what I'm saying? And then just all have to kind of mess that. I just didn't understand, like, when you got Rondo in Atlanta, you play them together.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like you play them together. Like you made Rondo the backup, but I'm like, can you imagine if they had Rondo right now and you take Trey off the ball?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like who's going to leave? Now
Yeah.
you put Rondo in a pick and roll with Capella in the middle of the floor going strong side to Trey in the corner. That guy not leaving. The help. You see what I'm saying? So now it's like create a whole nother problem. It creates a whole nother problem when you play them together.
Yeah.
You're not going to get killed on defense on the other end for playing too small because the other team, they're not really running no offense anyway. So, I just look at the game. I'm outside the box the way I think. You know what I'm saying? It's not traditional thinking for me. So I'm never going to, if I ever find a true point guard for Atlanta, the idea is to play them together as much as possible, not for them to be interchangeable.
Right. And it's funny you brought up, especially Giannis. I seen some guys they posted in one of those sports groups I follow, and they were talking. They showed Giannis at the top of the key, isolating. He got the ball and he's dribbling, trying to make a play and get to the basket, and he gets stuffed by Blake Griffin. And Blake Griffin can't jump over a piece of paper anymore, and you get stuffed by Blake Griffin, as athletic as Giannis is. And I was like, dude, it wasn't a good look. I was like, that's not Giannis's game. That's Kyrie. That's not Giannis's game. Kevin Durant can do that, but Giannis, no.
But that's on the coach
in the paint. Yeah,
that's on the coach for just throwing you the ball in the middle of the floor. Like, I'm not throwing him the ball in the middle of the floor. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I mean, shoot it that well. The guy back up this. This is always a telltale sign. Guy back up this far from you, and you don't shoot the ball, you can't shoot.
Right.
Like, imagine somebody stepping this far back from Steph or from Trey.
It's gone out their hands.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But last night, I think Blake Griffin had one possession early in the game where he was like 30 feet away from Giannis, and he didn't even look at the basket. Like, that's a telltale sign. Like, you might hit one. Mm-hmm. That's fool's gold. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you got a guy like that, you got to keep him in actions where you helping him. Like, Giannis need help. Yeah. Like, he need a coach to help him, put him in certain situations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. But, dude, man, I'm glad, man, we had this talk, man, because you giving me some different perspectives on basketball. Football is my game. I love football, and I can talk that any type of way, even from coaching. But with basketball, man, I'm still I love it. Still learning, but the perspective that you gave is certain things that just me, and I'm just a spectator, so never thought about. So, man, I appreciate that, man. But
yeah, no problem, man.
Dude, this was excellent, dude. We're almost 2 hours in, man. I think this is the longest show I've ever done, man. But hey, I appreciate it, dude.
I appreciate you, cuz.
This is gold. Yeah,
I appreciate it, man. Maybe in the future we'll circle back and do it again, man. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Oh no, ain't no maybe. We definitely got to do this again, man. We definitely got to do this again, man. But hey, let people know, hey, what upcoming adventures do you have, and where can they find you on social media?
Right now, I'm about to disappear off social media because I'm passing the Paxon basketball Instagram and Twitter page on to the new coach. And I got something in the works that I can't really make publicly, but it's big.
Okay.
It's very big. Can't go public right now. We'll reappear on social media with that, but it's something that's big for me. Big career move, and I think it's going to be good for the community. And once I get to that point, like you'll hear about it, I'll let you know. I actually let you know when we get off this camera. I'll let you know. But I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be good for me, man, and good for the community. I'm looking forward to this venture and see where it take me at, man. I'm looking forward to jumping into something different, man. This next half of life, man. So not going anywhere, just different, same plane, different seat.
Okay.
Same plane, different seat, man. Still in Jacksonville, still holding it down.
Okay, man. Well, man, I appreciate it. So, man, hey, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. I told y'all I was going in this week. I may have another live stream tomorrow. I don't know. I'm still working out the kinks. If not, it'll be back at the top on Monday with me and Sean. And hopefully we get this men's mental health part 2 episode off the ground. I know we got a few people who's been waiting on that, and I'm gonna have my uncle join me. And he's gonna come on and we're gonna talk men's mental health Monday. So man, I'm looking forward to that. But hey, y'all see all my social media down at the bottom on the ticker down there. Make sure you follow me. And man, thank y'all for the support. Y'all, it's been amazing, man. It's been I've been playing with house money, man. That's what this has felt like, man. It's been great, man. But until next time, man, I'll talk to y'all later, man. We out of here.
All right, cuz. Peace, man. Love you, brother.